Okay.
Hello everyone, welcome to the Maritime Transport webinar. Today we will introduce you the amazing world of blue economy. If you wonder what brought us together in front of you, I will confess that the Iceland, Liechtenstein and Norway through the EEA and Norway Grants Fund for Youth Employment choose to invest in the Blue Generation project, and this is really awesome. The project is implemented by an international consortium of 12 institutions for guiding young people to pursue a sustainable career in one of the blue economy sectors, like coastal tourism, aquaculture, ocean energy, marine biotechnology, shipbuilding, fisheries, and the last but not the least, maritime transport. In our session today, you will see the connection with maritime transport, with large supply chains, and with one very special agency of the United Nations, which is UNIDO. But before that, I would like to share with you some news that involves Europe, and it has to do with the supply chain. What is a supply chain? Well, when you go in a shop, you will find your products that interest you on the shelves of the shop. And those products are there because someone beforehand did all huge activity in order to buy, to negotiate prices, to negotiate when the products should arrive in the store, and someone has put those products on the shelf. And this is just a very small example of what supply chain means. So this year in 2023, a new law in Germany occurred, and German companies have to identify environmental violations and to develop risk management that has to do with supply chains. They have to monitor strategies, and Norway and France have similar law in place with a new European directive that has to do with improving these supply chains. And this information is very important for the blue economy. So now I will introduce you my dear guest, Vola. She works for UNIDO. Hello, Vola. Please tell us who you are and what is UNIDO.
Yeah, thank you very much, Christina. And I am Vula Rakutun Razafi. I am the UNIDO Madagascar representative. I would like to thank you first for this invitation to talk about the blue economy and careers in the sector. Before I go into details, allow me to introduce what UNIDO is doing and who we are, and particularly what we do in Madagascar. UNIDO is one of the United Nations many agencies. We are a specialized agencies, and our mandate is to promote sustainable and inclusive industrial development all across the world, in developing countries as well. And we have now our motto, which is progress by innovation, meaning that we are working towards the achievement of the sustainable goals of the United Nations. You may have heard the Agenda 2030. We have to achieve 17 sustainable goals. UNIDO is particularly very active on SDG, or Sustainable Development Goal number 9, which is to build resilient infrastructure, industry, and innovation. So in this sense, we are having three major priorities, which are how can we work toward an industrialization which can end hunger around the globe? How can we work to have sustainable energy for all, which is let's say something which cannot be detached from industrialization, because you cannot do industrial development without having energy. And the last priority is indeed, how can we develop a sustainable supply chain, namely because of what we have seen during the COVID-19 pandemic, where there was a disruption of the global supply everywhere. So to address this issue, UNIDO is trying to promote sustainable technologies which are mindful of the climate change, of over changes, just like the pandemic I mentioned earlier, and also to have a link with what you, Christina, just described earlier on the maritime also transport. How can we ensure that products and commodities arrive right at the consumer's table? So this is one of the work UNIDO is doing. Now in Madagascar, as you know, Madagascar is a big island in the Indian Ocean, south of where you are, and also next to South Africa. As an island, there is, for example, a big port here, which is called Tuamasina, and which is currently under extension. There is a big work going on to extend the capacity of the port to receive and to export more, to handle cargoes, and to improve the maritime transport or the supply of Madagascar coming from abroad, as once again, we are an island. I don't know if you want me to go deep into the details, or if we can already jump into the link with the blue economy. Up to you.
I would just add the fact that European Union remains Madagascar's largest trading partner, and there are economic and trade partnerships which aim to contribute to the growth in productive investment and to create jobs in Madagascar and to improve the competitiveness of the Malagasy economy. And there were many European Union delegations organized around economic sector in order to improve both industry and blue careers in bilateral relations between Madagascar and the European Union. Yes, please tell us about the project of with Blue Career.
Yes, thank you very much, Christina. Indeed, you are absolutely right. The European Union delegation here in Madagascar is working on those areas you mentioned earlier. And we have indeed a cooperation with the European Union here to promote entrepreneurship, to promote local transformation also. And even if we are still on a preparation of a blue project for the moment with UNIDO, it is not with the European Union, but it is still under preparation. So now back to the blue economy sector. We need to mention that as an island, Madagascar has more than 5.7 thousand kilometers of coastline. It has also more than 1 million square kilometer of what we call maritime exclusive economic zone. And as such, we have the blue economy, which is a sector from which a huge party of the population is earning their livings. As such, the country has recently developed a strategy to promote the blue economy, as it represents 7% of the country GDP, or gross domestic product, meaning that it has a considerable place within the economy and the development of Madagascar. So when you talk about the blue economy for the island, it is not only for the sea. You have mentioned it is also aquaculture. It is also how to sustainably manage, for example, the mangroves, or how to develop sustainable practices of fisheries. Because as an island, we have many fishermen, but who are still using a traditional way of doing business. There is also a lack of infrastructure, for example, the energy I mentioned. So for UNIDO, there is an initiative on the preparation where we try to have an integrated approach, meaning that we develop fisheries, develop seaweed sector, but with sustainable practices, meaning that there will be new technologies or more sustainable technologies to be used during the operations. But we also introduce the circular economy to not only try to develop the renewable energy next to those plants, but also how can we use less waste, how can we produce less waste, and how can we transform this waste to do over businesses, and so on and so on, as it is once again a circular economy approach. Now, with Blue Carrier also, apart from all of those initiatives, you have mentioned the aquacultures. Here also, due to climate changes, there was huge impact in the watersheds here, for example, or the lake, or even the aquaculture itself. So there are now lots of support to develop, once again, sustainable way to manage those natural resources. Should it be how to preserve the watershed? Should it be how to reforest so that the water is not depleting? How to also, if I go back to the ocean again, how to protect the coral reef, which is more and more suffering from human activities, from over exploitation, or from the global warming. So Madagascar has all of this, but UNIDO is now concentrating on proposing initiatives to have sustainable practices in fisheries and in seaweed production and transformation. Over to you.
Thank you very much. Before to conclude our short interview, I would like to ask you to send a message to the teenagers, to high school students, to university students, to all this new generation that would be interested to join Blue Career. What would be your advice?
Thank you, Christina. My advice to you is that maybe before even the advice, please remember that we are in an era where climate change is there already, a reality. For us to sustain the ocean, the maritime transport, or the maritime system, and even the aquaculture, for example, we need to think of how can we best preserve those resources without depleting them. but without using them wisely, if I can say so. Then, if you are interested in the blue career, please have in mind the sustainability. How can we work towards a sustainable natural resources operation? If you are going to do shipping, if you are going to do transport, maritime transport, or if you are going to also launch something, a business in was aquaculture or maritime resources. Let be open to the world system. Do not only look at one thing, but have this integrated approach, meaning that if you want to have something on the maritime transport, you have to be mindful of the other subsectors around. And also, as I said, stay open, be curious enough, and just go ahead.
Yes, indeed, curiosity is something that we want to nurture for the next generation. And also they should be open for education in the maritime. They should ask questions, they should have the critical thinking, and they should be confident in themselves in order to think to such businesses in the blue zone, and also to expand their way of thinking beyond the boundaries of their house,
Yes.
city, region, country, European Union, you see. So have this in mind. This is a global dimension. We are friends, partners with each other, no matter the country boundaries. So my advice, in order to complete your very bright advice for the next generation, would be to open your mind and be aware that frontiers exist only if we want them to exist. Yes, in our mind. Otherwise, will be excellent partnerships if you think beyond what is traditional, you know, like other examples that are most familiar. Try to overpass these traditional examples and do something larger, bigger, think big. Okay, so as I told you before, this economic relations between European Union and Madagascar in blue sector, its relations are really great. So you have very good examples here, and I thank you very much, Vola, for your very nice intervention. Just to have a very short conclusion and recap of what we have discussed so far. Tell us again the purpose, the scope of UNIDO, and the relation to the blue career.
Yeah. Okay, so once again, to wrap up, thank you very much, Christina, for this invitation. Once again, the purpose of UNIDO is to advance sustainable and inclusive industrial development. We are working, as I said, with a motto which is progress by innovation. And the scope is global, meaning that we are present in 171 countries as of 2023, meaning that we are a multinational, an international organization of the United Nations. And with this, I wish all the best to our young students. As Christina said, stay open. Barriers only exist in your mind. So be creative, be innovative, and you will have a bright career.
Thank you very much. This interview was made by the association Team for Excellence. within the Blue Generation project. Stay tuned and watch us more with the further interviews. Thank you. Take care. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.